And I'm going to actually borrow someone else's presentation. This is from a teacher in New Brunswick who wrote this as advice for other teachers, and she called it "How to Stay in Teaching When You Really Feel Like Crying." I put the link up on the Google Doc for our seminars, and I really like her tips. These are just really practical. So she says, get a massage. Um, just find something that relaxes, and most of these are focused, on the teacher themselves. I don't think teachers put enough attention into their own selves outside of teaching. I don't really get a massage. I really do her lesson 2 exercise. It's really crucial for a teacher to find that time to just invigorate their body. Our minds are being taxed so much when we teach, and I think exercise, what I find, is my mind shuts off, and that's so good. Teachers are like air traffic controllers. They actually, we handle more decisions per minute than an air traffic controller. So our brains really need to shut off. And I find exercise just great for that. And highly, just be consistent with it. Her third lesson is get a dog. Okay, or I guess you could also say a significant other, but she thinks a dog is even better. No slight intended to marriage or anything, but a dog or a cat, something that gives you, that's your own, and you have a level of relationship that's outside of your normal sphere. Lesson 4, just remember that people who say, I wish I'd gone into teaching, rarely mean it. So really what she's saying is that understand how wonderful a profession it is, and but at the same time, the realities of how difficult it is, and your commitment to it. Lesson 5, she says, don't expect other people to understand what being a teacher is. So don't get frustrated. Don't stress yourself out about that. That's just a fact of life, and try to just go with it. Okay, you can't fight it. So just focus on what you do. She writes lesson 6 for surviving as a teacher. Realize that the average building has more than one faculty member for a reason. So she's mentioning what we're doing here. Really get to know a few colleagues well, and do things with them, and make your teaching environment more of a place with supportive colleagues. And vacation. So I don't know, I'm guilty of that. I don't really do enough getting away and being on vacation and being away from things. Thank you, Benjamin. Yes, vacate. I like that one too. Just be somewhere else, be someone different. Really important. And those are some tips. You can read them in detail at the link, and how to stay in teaching when you really feel like crying. Does anybody else have a tip that they could share? Diet and sleep. I like that one. Sleep, sleep, sleep's really important as a tip. They're finding more and more that sleep is really vital for our happiness. And that's our job, I guess. Declutter. Oh, good one, Ali. Yes, I like that one. I found when I was teaching, yeah, I got more and more depressed the more and more I was not in control and organized. I guess our personalities can differ, but I think it really helps to have a semblance of order. Anyways, um, and being on top of things, right? When your desk is clear again. Okay, yeah. So we went through lots and lots of tips here for surviving. The 5 S's. Benjamin, could you tell us about those? Can I put you on the mic?
Okay, I'm not sure if you can hear me. The 5S's, it's been a while since I've actually looked at.
Benjamin, are you there? I'm just interested in what this 5 S's
can you hear me?
represent.
Sorry here. Let's see if I can get this. Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're loud and clear.
Sorry about that. First time in this platform. Yeah, the 5S's, I'm familiar with the 5S's from working in business. And they stand for sort, set in order, shine, standardize, and sustain. And basically, it's a concept of staying organized, sorting, making sure everything's in order, keeping things clean and up to date, whether it's computers, maintenance, just everything that's in working order. It can also mean standardized, so maybe you have a standard way of organizing your day, for example, if we want to translate this into the educational field, to
Right.
perhaps checking emails and whatever the daily ritual might be to kind of standardize your day to get kind of in an organized routine, and sustain. So basically, checking out what works and trying to sustain those practices perhaps that are working well. And so I don't know. I thought I'd just throw those out there as well. That some of those concepts I think can also be translated into the educational field as educators.
No, I think that's a great point. There's a lot business world can teach us professionally, I think, as teachers, especially in this area, of organization. I'm not so certain about curriculum and standards and things like that, and
Right.
applying too much of the business model there, but definitely these sort of things, and also with goal setting and objectives and meeting them, and having some sense of what we're doing and tracking it. So I'll have to look into that, definitely. Um, I guess another thing we might look at is surviving as a teacher. What shouldn't you do? I had a big discussion with a couple new teachers. On the weekend, I attended and got my certificate in reflective teaching. So I was at a weekend session, and we did a lot of kind of small group work during the session. And a couple of the teachers really were telling me about everything they do, and I was aghast. They were doing too much. They were trying to have personal feedback for every student. Um, just the amount of work that they were doing, they didn't have a life. And one of the things I don't think a teacher should do is try to be perfect for every student. You're going to kill yourself. You're going to burn out so quick. And that was what I was trying to tell these teachers, that sooner or later they're going to be wiped out if they try to keep that level of personalization and contact with every student. So I think there's a place for things we shouldn't do so that we can survive, I guess. So you can't be everything to every student. And that's a point that's something I really had to learn in my first years teaching. Right. There's a balance between our students' needs and our own teachers' needs, I guess. Um, any last suggestions for surviving? Next, Next week we're going to be looking at vocabulary, and I hope others will come up and present. Um, we didn't hear from a couple of the presenters. They didn't show up, but that's fine. I want to keep this really informal. But if you're interested in presenting about vocabulary, there's the doc, and you can sign up. And we're going to look at all the different ways we can teach vocabulary to our students. I want to hear, every possible way. Don't sweat the small stuff, all that sort of stuff. Okay, well, thank you, everybody. To exit the room, just close your browser. This room will always be open, and we'll have a presentation up that you can go through. And we'll see you next week.